Brendon, thank you very much for your time, my brother. How are you doing?
I'm good, and yourself?
Very well, very well. Brendon, you're the director of Siluma 7. If you can just briefly tell us about Siluma 7, what is it about, the divisions you have the club, the links with other divisions or elements of Siluma that are overseas, just to give us a picture of what Siluma is all about.
Yeah, so we started Siluma 7 last year in the GDPL. We had a good season the first season, promoted into the GDL, which is what we're busy playing at the moment. The divisions are 13s, 15s, 17s and 19s. What we're trying to achieve is just giving boys opportunity, letting them express themselves, but also guiding them and helping them grow technically, tactically, mentally, obviously your physical sides as well. We work, we have level 7 South Africa, which head office based in London, UK. So we have links across the board in London. Our directors, that's our Billy and Ian. They work closely with your big clubs like Spurs, Arsenal. So what we're trying to achieve is get boys opportunities that side. Not only is it based for football, also education. So we have a college that side. We have a couple of campuses based in London where boys can go, and girls. Please understand that we also cater for the girls side of things, where they study within the game. So you know, becoming a ref, becoming a coach, bio, physio, so related to the game. And we just want to give boys opportunities and girls so that they can live their dreams. You know, I played a couple of years for Highlands, but the exposure at that time wasn't there as we would want. I know everyone tries within the country, but we just also want to give more opportunities and, you know, even create links with clubs within South Africa to work together to develop the football.
In terms of your playing style, I think I enjoyed the 2 games that I've watched, under 13s and the under 15s. The boys always want to put the ball on the ground. They want to connect passes and build up and you know, a bit of flair there and there. If you can just explain to us the philosophy of the academy in terms of playing style.
Yeah, so what we want to do is create the style of play that they play all over the world. You know, obviously the basics with movement, but we also don't want to lose the flair of South Africans. But we're trying to teach the kids at the right time in the right areas. So we've tried to break it down as much as possible for the kids so they understand the style of play. But it's quick passing, quick moving. Put it on the floor. As we know, South Africans are better with the ball on the floor than it is in the air. So we want to get them to pass the ball around, move around, create those spaces. And then once we get that confidence, you'll see maybe later on in the year, the boys will start to bring their flair within the game, because we don't want to lose that, because I know it's unique.
You mentioned earlier that your links with level 7 in the UK also involve education. How important is it that these boys, as much as they have ambitions to play at professional level, they also balance that with education, just in case things don't turn out the way they want to be?
Yeah, so we had a parents meeting before the season started, and I emphasized on the facts that the kids need to have a balance. It needs to be 50-50. It can't be 80% football and 20% school. So we have told the parents to monitor the school marks and send us reports if anyone is falling behind with regards to the education side, because you know there's life after football. Your career can only last so long. So we want the kids to also have something to fall back on. So education, very important.
You mentioned that you are based in the Johannesburg South. Do you house the kids there, or is the kids come to train and then they go home? And what is your recruitment philosophy? How do you go about recruiting players?
So we had trials in the beginning of the year where we had open trials for the kids to come through and express themselves and their talents, which was based over a 3-week period. And then we obviously started to cut. But we don't do the housing side of things. We haven't got to that level yet. We obviously do want to get to that level, because then you can monitor the kids better. But yeah, with regards to boys wanting to join us, they just got obviously contact. At the moment, what we do is we get the boys to go down to the soccer school so that we can obviously just assess them individually, because it's difficult to assess them individually within the team trainings. So we assess them individually, then if they're at that level, then we send them through to the academy.
Coach, in recent times, we know our under-16s national team, they are in Poland as we speak. The under-17s qualified for the AFCON, and SAFA has launched the under-15 inter-provincial tournament. How important are these developments in terms of development for the kids, opening up the space for kids to participate, creating a greater pool of players to select from? As someone who's involved in development, how important are these developments?
Yeah, I think it's key because I think the youngsters now have something to fight for. I'm positive that everyone that plays football within the country wants to represent the national team, and I think with those teams being developed now and put in place, I think the boys will fight and push harder to get into those channels and represent South Africa. I think the development will grow. I must admit, I've watched a couple of the games when the under-17s played last, when they qualified, and I think it's impressive. There's a lot of talent, and I think we do miss our talent, and I think with the exposure going to Poland, the boys are going to see what the level is. I don't think we get exposed enough to the level overseas, where the boys obviously watch it on TV, obviously from a young age, and they believe they can do it, but they don't realize what actually goes into the tactical side and the technical side. But I think with this now, being exposed to that, the players are just going to grow.
Coach, thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it, and all the best with Siluma 7.
All right, perfect. Thank you.